Can you all see my screen?
Yes, now.
it's coming.
Okay. So today what we'll do is we'll start with the journey builder. Okay, REST API on journey builder. So we say REST API Marketing Cloud. Okay, and then we go to this REST API and we are going to the journey builder. Okay, so I'm navigating to journey. So you have assets, audit, campaign, chat, contacts. Okay, data, events, event notifications, interactions. So it comes under interaction. Okay, so anything related to journey comes into interactions, and you'll see there are a lot of journey APIs. Okay, so document, I don't want to go search. Okay, so I'll go with this documentation at the later end. Okay, so from here all these APIs you'll see a lot of APIs are there. Okay, and okay, I had actually bookmarked in some other place with my another laptop. Okay, but anyway, insert let's say what it says. It is so okay, let's start with this. Okay, so first, if you have to consider building a journey in Marketing Cloud, you need to basically understand what are the journey specification. Okay, what we need to pass into a journey to create, right? So it might have a lot of different things. So first is if you see the journey parameters, okay, the JSON parameter that you have to pass while creating a journey. First, you need to have a unique name. Okay, they say a GUID, but you can basically give a string. Okay, name of the journey, some description if you want to give, which is not mandatory. Okay, you have to give a version number for the journey. So by default, if you want to create a new journey, it will be 1, but they say possible values can also be 0.5, 1 also. So you can also have a version with 0.5 as well. So it basically says it can be a decimal starting with 0.5 or something. Okay, and then you have other attributes which are quite interesting in nature also, right? So you have goals, which is of type array. Okay, triggers, type of array, and activities, type of array. Okay, so if you see this, okay, so if you see this here, how they have to basically configure is this becomes your endpoint URL. Okay, the host. Here this one becomes your subdomain, right? So the post of the path becomes interaction, v1 interactions. Okay, content type, and the authentication becomes your authorization, becomes the bearer token, right? So if you see a very simple journey, what you all need is you need the key, you need the name, okay, version, triggers, and so these are not mandatory, right? So if you just trigger this, it will just create say a draft version of the journey. Okay, with only say uh, just creating a cell. Okay, just creating a cell kind of a structure for the journey. Fine. So but we'll not go with directly with creating a journey, but slowly try to see how we can progress building journeys. And also see, if you have to understand, you have to also understand, hmm, like from the starting we have been trying to design a modular code, right, where we have data actions and retrieve, simple operator, access token. Okay, so there is a REST API post. Okay, there's a gate, there is a patch. So all these functions we might not call. Okay, we'll be only calling let's say what I'm doing, revoke to get. What I'm trying to get is get all the journeys that is inside my business unit. Okay, so for that, what we can do is, first thing is, let's open the Postman. Okay, so inside the Postman, okay, if I go to Marketing Cloud, okay, and if I go to journeys, right? So inside the journey, hmm, we have a gate operation. Okay, where we basically this is the path, right? Interaction versus sorry, v1 is the version interactions, and when I do the gate, Okay, I get all the journey versions. Okay, now if have you understood this, so what we'll do is, so again recapping is, let's go, oops, to the business unit. Okay, so this is my data extension where I've created all the methods till now what we have been discussing. Okay, so here what we are discussing is get interactions, this one. Okay, so here what I've written, interaction v1 interactions. Okay, and this is a get function which is calling a get interaction is the unique identifier for this particular row, right? Now, as I said, I don't want to repeat again, right? This is for the API config, retrieve the API config from this particular data extension, which was basically this install packages. Okay, and I didn't want to show the details because I don't want to make it public what is the secret client ID and secrets. Okay, so here this was the configuration we had discussed earlier. Okay, and we are focusing more on this today with this particular row. Okay, then this is to get the access token details from the data extension. Okay, and then this one is to define which function we are trying to call. So today we are trying to get the details of the get interaction. So define data extension retrieve for this get interaction means I want to get this particular path, okay, method URL to be called. Fine. And then if it has any query parameter, any key or other things that we can do. And I'm trying to do call a function called invoke REST API get, right? So if you want to again see what is uh, invoke REST API get, okay. So this was my code snippet that I designed, okay. So I'll make a quick one because we have already discussed all this. Hmm. So let me open a new window. So this is a modular code, right? You can use it across all the business unit if you share this code snippet, right? So from here, you get the access token, okay? And you assign the access token, and this access token will parse the token type and access token, store it into this, okay? And this header value basically is the access token type plus access token, where a lot of people basically hard code this as well, right? And the header values is the authorization. Hmm. And this method URL1, which is basically this. This is the method URL, okay? And what I'm looking at this get interaction is this one is the method URL, okay? The attribute. So it will fetch this particular row, okay? And then assign it to method URL. And if there are any other configuration items, if there is method URL1, 2 and all, okay, then it will also look into, I haven't configured 2, but for 1 I have said if this is not empty, append that particular method URL, which will basically become a query param. Hmm. And then the content type is there, and then what we are doing is it is http get and then returning the response, right? So this is the function which is being called here, right? Invoke REST API get. Okay, if you see this, the method name is invoke REST API get. Fine. So this code is written here. Okay, get journey. Okay, so the same one, invoke REST API get, and I'm doing the get interactions. Okay, and if I do this, and if I just run this, hmm, so you'll see all the journeys that we have. Okay, inside this business unit. So this doesn't look good, right? So looking at all the journeys and all, it is quite complex also. Fine, right? But if there is some use case, we can do this. Okay. Now, the other one is what I can do is I want to get a specific. So from, okay, let's go back. Okay. So from here, one thing what I can do is I can insert into a data extension also whatever I'm getting here, especially let's say I'm looking into the IDs. Okay, because the next thing that what we do is we need to capture these IDs, right? So with this IDs, what I can do is I require this ID, one of the ID, okay, to find a specific journey, okay, and then understand what is happening. This code is little complex in nature, okay, but why I've written this is to make people understand what I'm doing. Hmm. So from all these journeys, okay, I'm trying to fetch only one journey, okay, and you see here what I've done here is with the now I'm going to the second one, get interactions journey by ID, okay. So I have a config key, okay. So here what I've done, the same code that I used in the previous one. Only thing I'm changing is this particular line of code. Nothing else I'm changing. Only this line of code, okay, which is basically this primary key to retrieve this particular records, this row, okay. So I'm using get interactions journey by ID here, okay, and since it has this URL method URL1, which is config key, okay, so I have to pass one of the key, yeah, okay, which has a query parameter, okay. I'm passing this. So here I'm saying key, okay, and if you see this code, what I was doing was if there is a this particular method URL1, okay, then whatever I'm passing as the last parameter, that is a query parameter, this config key will be replaced by this particular value. Hmm.
So, see one question.
Hmm.
In the previous screen, where did you mention the business unit? I mean, if it is not by ID, the previous case.
Oh, where you mention, so see you are running in a particular business unit, right?
Okay,
This code
okay,
is being invoked in this particular business unit, so it will bring all those journeys from this business unit only.
okay,
So by default it will bring it from here itself, okay.
okay.
Now when we go to maybe hopefully next session we'll be doing WS proxy. From there
Hmm?
I can show you can invoke a different business unit also, okay,
Okay, right.
but that will be from parents to different childs, not from child to parent. It will always go top to bottom, not bottom to top. Hmm. So here when I'm saying I'm not passing business unit, when I'm saying it will bring, because there is certain things which we can do to also pass the business unit, okay. So for example we are basically uh, we were trying to fetch the SFMC token also, right? And if you remember, if you have to go back, hmm, and see for the token, to retrieve the token at return here, where is the token? So I think that will be the first thing, that access token, right? So in the access token, if you see, if your question was quite valid as well, okay. So if you see this access token, okay, uh, here, so this was not mandatory, but I have passed this as well. You see here. So this line, where member ID get attribute that member ID. This is basically passing the MID, the business unit ID.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay. So here the account ID equals to the member ID. I have, this is not mandatory, but I have passed in the access token.
Okay.
Fine. Hmm.
Yeah.
But don't get confused, because we'll be diving into more other details. Okay. So here I'm just this last uh, one. What I only modified is this particular value, and I passed a key. Okay. Now, if I pass this key, what I'm doing is, see, I'm parsing the data that I'm receiving, and I'm trying to print. And if you see this slash n slash t, this is because I have done a lot of web programming, so I know this is a tab and this is a line breaker. Okay,
Mm, mm.
so all these things has to be understood, and this will, if you copy this and paste it in your cloud page, it might not function the similar way it is working in code resource. So people has to understand those things as well. Okay, so in the cloud page is HTML, and when you are doing HTML, you have for tab it might have something else. Okay, You have for line break, you might have BR and all. So those things people have to consider. And those who do not know, they need to go to Chat GPT. Anyway, uh, let me. What I'm doing is so simple is I am here, okay, trying to invoke this particular get method, okay, which is basically this one, and this will have the concatenation of interaction versus sorry, why I'm saying versus again and again, interaction v1 interactions slash the key, okay. Now I'm trying to get only one journey, okay, to deep dive what is happening inside the journey. Fine. And if I run this now, you'll see the interesting thing how it is basically I have basically coded, right? So I'm saying uh, what are the journey details? The ID is this, okay. The key of the journey is this, okay. The name of the journey is this journey, okay, and when it was created. Fine. Hmm. Now inside the journey, if you remember, I said we have, okay, key name version fine, right? Trigger goals and activities. Okay. So then first I went to the, because I'm more concentrating towards the activities. Okay. So what are the activities in this journey? First thing they have is a multi criteria, which is basically when you say multi criteria is a decision split. Hmm. So they have a multi criteria decision. Okay. And this is a type of multi-criteria decision. So inside the journey, it is known as multi-criteria decision. Fine. Then after that multi-criteria decision, they have a weight by duration weight activity, which is of, you see, weight activity slash 12. They have given a name slash 12, and then this name is 1 day. Is a wait is waiting for 1 day. After that, decision split. Okay. They have another decision split which has again 1 day. Okay. Another decision split again 1 day. Okay. And then they have the email, which is called, this is the email template they are using, okay, which is basically called email v2. So little bit of disorientation with the printing is here, obviously, because I'm doing in the uh, course resource, okay. But these are the activities they have defined in a data, okay, in a journey. Now there also, in that activities there is also outcome. Hmm. So what happens when there is a decision split or something else? So the default path, you see the default path, the default part is the weight by duration, okay. They have a reminder path which is weight by duration, okay. And they have other things which are quite well undefined. They have email and all. So from here, obviously that's what I said, it will be little confusing at first, but as we deep dive, then we'll see a lot of things, okay. So inside these activities is still, okay, there's an outcome details that we need to configure. We need to configure the configuration arguments, we need to configure the metadata, okay. And inside the schema we have arguments, okay, request id, message key, activity id, definition id, okay, message subject, data bound, and lot of things, okay. So journey is not a very simple object, though it sounds simple, but it's not that simple, okay. I should not have come this to the very beginning, because a lot of people will be confused, okay. I should have just kept it at the last. That's why if you go to my blog also, I haven't mentioned this part, okay, because if somebody will see this, they will be totally uh, baffled, right? Anyway, uh, we'll come to this at the last, okay. Now let's go to the creation of the journey, okay. So say now the next one, see, the similar way that what I have designed, I have similarly I have written that code also, okay. So I want to create a journey. Now the journey path is similar with the get function, which is interaction v1 interactions, okay. The only thing that is changing is basically the verb, okay. What operation you're performing the post operation, right? So if I go here, hmm, now what I need is, I'm here this part, I'm only changing this line, which is basically this particular description, okay, saying that this particular method name, the method name is create interaction basic cell, okay. and this is a post, and whenever we do a post, we need to give it a payload. We need to define the payload for that particular uh, journey, right? So I'm just creating a cell kind of a journey where it will only have a multi-step journey with a name saying API created version 1 journey. Okay, let's make this version 1. Okay, and then giving a version as 1. Okay, this one, uh, w- get category ID is basically in which folder you want to create this journey, right? So here, if you see here, get category. So this is a simple operator that we had discussed a long time before also. Okay, I think I think in the second session also we had discussed this uh, when we are doing the data, what is it, folder creation. We did folder creation and all, right? So similar function I've used. uh, Filter one with the name simple operator equals to Sasi. Okay, and the filter two is content type equals to journey, and use as a left and the right operand, and give me the folder ID. And in that folder ID here, okay, in this folder ID, if I show it from here, it will be much easier. So your basic cell, right? So I think here you'll be able to understand what I'm saying here. Hmm. So these three are all common for every all methods. The only thing I have said was to change this line, right? And I have defined one modular code where you can copy paste everything and just update few things, if you remember, right? Do you all remember the previous discussions? No?
Yes, Sushil.
Oh, yes. Yes, right. So if you see, I had said a modular design when I was discussing a modular design. Uh, Here there was a modular API integration, right? And this was what I've coded here. Okay, here. Okay, this would be everything. Whatever is written, you will come here, and I said here update this, right? And if this is a post method, then you have to basically update this as well. And if there is any key that you need to pass, update this. So what you could have also done was like say this is a cloud base. Okay, before going here, let me cancel this. Oh, cancel. So if let's say if I'm creating a code resource and giving like say test, okay, next, and I just try to create this one. Hmm. I think I don't know if I mentioned. I had created a video on this also. Okay, so from here I can scroll down and go to that modular API integration. Every code comes here, right? You just need to update this line. Following me? I've pop. I think if I have not discussed in the session, I have published in the YouTube also what you need to do when you're designing the modular code. Okay.
Yes,
So
it is
let
in the
me.
YouTube video only, Sushil. It
Yeah,
is not.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm deleting this. Okay. Going back to our old discussion was to create a cell, right? So here what I'm doing is calling that particular path, okay, to create the cell, that is interaction v1 interactions, okay, and pass this payload, okay, and then get the response and see what happens. Okay, so this is the same code. I am just modifying this particular version saying 1. Okay, here this category ID will basically publish this particular code in the journey builder under my folder called Sasi, because if you see here, I'm considering the folder name to be Sasi. So it will be under Sasi. Okay. So I'm publishing this. Let me publish it once again. Hmm. And I publish this, right? So the status code is 200 and all these things are created, and is this schedule status is draft because I'm creating a draft version of the journey. Fine. And I go to, let me refresh this. Okay. I'm inside the journey builder. Okay. So you see API created journey version 1, which is just created just now. Okay. So here, if you see this particular cell, you'll see like, see, a simple cell is created with that. Nothing is inside the configuration. right? Why is there's nothing? Because I've made the triggers to be empty, goals to be empty, activities to be empty, and all. Understood? So this becomes a cell, huh? Cell kind of structure. Now let's move little till now. Hope you people are understanding what I'm saying, right? Because there's
Yes.
a lot of things to discuss, and now the other one. Uh, if you see here from the cell, I'm going to create the entry. Okay, the entry type, the whether we select the entry as say a data extension, okay, or a event definition API key or something. So for that, here if I go back to the data extension, yeah, okay, so the next one is I'm creating only the entry event. Okay, so the entry event, the same, the path is the same. Okay, interaction v1 interactions, and the post is also the same. So the function that I'm calling is same. The only thing that I'm modifying here is basically the payload. So in the payload, in the previous one, if you see, triggers are empty array, goals are empty, activities are empty, right? If I move to this one, what I'm doing is I'm not passing other activities and goals. I'm passing the triggers. Okay, so I'm giving the trigger as the event key trigger. Okay, name as starting point of the journey, type is API event. Okay, so this will define what is this data extension API event or what kind of a definition. Okay, then event key definition, I have hard coded this. Okay, and then arguments and configure. So now once you understand key inside the trigger also, so let me see here. See, this trigger was a simple array, right? So from the not cell, it was looking as a simple array. Easy hoga. Now, if I go inside these triggers, it has even different configurations. Key name type, फिर भी ठीक है. It's easy. But there is arguments and configuration arguments. Okay. Now, if you see these arguments and configuration arguments, now that's what I was saying was, if you remember this, okay. Now here you see configuration arguments, metadata, okay, whatnot. There are a lot of things. Okay. I'm still didn't want to go directly there. Fine. The only thing is I could have used the same function as old one, which is basically saying this uh, create interaction basic cell. But just to make it a difference, I have given a different entry. But because the path is also the same for both, okay. But just to make it simple, I've said, okay, let's do this. So people do not get confused. Okay, so I said entry event only. So here I'm just discussing entry event. Fine. Other things are same. So journey created, what was the journey created? So this was API journey created version 1. Okay, so इसको थोड़ा सा modify कर देंगे. Similar way, I'll say this will say version 2. Okay, so inside the same folder, okay, okay, there is one journey, okay, version 1, and now this is I'm saying version 2. Okay, so what happens if I do this? Publish this. Okay, run this. See, this is status is defined. Okay, everything is done. So if you see iska what the payload that I got as a response and what I get here is little different, right? So you can also understand from the length as well because I have defined the triggers. Okay. Now let's refresh this. Hmm. Now you see, this was the name that I had given. I could have modified this name also. Starting point of the journey क्या बोल दिया था? Anyway, these are journey. So now here, which this this one created with the name. Okay, with this name, starting point of journey. Oh, ये the starting name of journey आना चाहिए था. But anyway, see this got created. यहाँ पे name, this is our journey where this came. I know the starting point of journey आना चाहिए था name. Okay. Uh, did I modify something? Oh, this is
On the 18th
argument.
lines, it was written, na? So maybe that was
Which oh
name.
sorry. Oh, I modified this and this. Oh sorry, that's my mistake. Yeah. So here you have name and this name that got created. Yeah. So this is our journey I wrote. Okay. My mistake. Uh, so मैं खुद ही कंफ्यूज होने से तुम लोग को क्या समझाऊंगा है ना anyway. So name of the journey, this is our journey. I should have made a little different name anyway. So this got created, right? Now if you open this one, ah, you'll see something interesting, right? So you have this which data extension you have to create, what was the contact filter and all what properties has to be defined. This could have been created, okay? And you can also see we can select some kind of a icon also. ah. So I'm not basically uh, mm, क्या कहते हैं, I'm not trying to make it complex. I'm making you all people understand कि inside these triggers also there are a lot of parameters that you can pass. Okay, so from anyway, I have to calm myself. Okay, so from empty cell where there is no configuration, I'm just passing an entry event. Fine. हाँ, अभी आगे देखो होता है क्या. Let's say. Okay. Now, okay, empty cell, fine. Okay. Create the entry point, fine. Okay. Let's make a very simple journey. Similar, I think the path will be same. Okay. Again, that particular configuration will be different. Hmm. So here, see here, create interactions. I have said this one as a create interaction. I'm passing create interaction. Though path is the same. If you see here, this path from here, these three are the same, right? Only the configuration details I'm changing. Okay. And here, what I'm doing is I've created another function which is basically can be reusable. Okay. When you say like Ankita, when you're asking like, can we have the similar structure that we have in other journeys and then just create a draft and store it somewhere? So for that only, I'm basically designing this use case. Okay. So what I did was fine. If you want to build that kind of a design, then here which function I've called get journey payload. Okay. So get journey payload. Now, if you'll see now, this becomes interesting. Okay. Now, so you understand that that payload is defining has a lot of things inside it. If you see a simple journey that you want to create, okay. So these were very simple that you understood, right? You have to pass the journey key, journey name, description. Then you have another property called entry mode, okay, defining whether it's a single entry or. But if you don't define, it will be by default it will become multiple entries. Hmm. So category ID is basically your holder ID where you want to define the journey. Version one, fine. So here I'm keeping this simple as it is, which I showed it before. Okay, saying that okay, uh, let make is the key as a trigger. Like if you see this before going to this, the previous one, yeah. So here the trigger was event key. Okay, name was something, type was API event definition was something, arguments and configuration arguments here, right? If you see here, I said trigger to be trigger name. I could have even configured this, but if I pass all these things, there are so many other configurations, right? So this parameters that I pass, it will only, this will also might be going to 20, 30, 40, 50. So I can't pass everything. And what I'm doing is few things I'm hard coding here, like this trigger. Okay, all this value I'm basically hard coding it. Okay, so this is just preparing the payload for the journey to be built. So this area
Yes.
is for triggers. Somebody saying something? This trigger part, what I could have passed it as a null. Then the first structure that the entry point would be similar to this, right? So where you have this entry is a blank, this one, entry source. This is the entry source, right? So the first trigger which I'm discussing here is the entry source, this triggers. Hmm. Now, for the timing, I'm keeping the goals as empty. Okay, but I want to create some kind of a journey where I need to have the emails configured, the wait period configured, right? Even they can be a division split, all the splits and all. Okay, but not going into that in a single go, but building a very simple journey where first I'll after that entry source, hmm, I'll have activities. The first activity is of type V2, email V2. It means I'll have an email where I'm calling this name. I can say postman, not saying postman email, but I can consider, okay, not I'm not doing from postman, so this doesn't become relevant. I'll say, okay, any, I like my name. So see, okay, name will be welcome email. Hmm. Type type defines what kind of activity you're defining. Okay, this is email V2 outcomes. So now understand the outcome. So now you also have a parameter called outcomes, which is an type of array. Okay, and there I say saying that send email now and wait. Okay, what to do next? The next is welcome email, then wait. Okay, so this is key, and next there is another properties for outcomes, and there is also arguments and metadata that also has to be defined, which I'm keeping it empty for now. Hmm. For this outcome, hmm, now you have arguments which I'm keeping this empty. Okay, now you inside this configuration arguments, you need to have the application extension key. Okay, just try to understand. And yeah, I'm saying it's a journey builder email activity. I'm trying to configure a journey builder, and that's why we say whenever create and whenever we build any journey builder, okay, it creates a trigger send, right? So the email activity that you basically configure in a journey is basically a trigger send. That's why, because we have a parameter called trigger send inside configuration arguments. Hmm. So here I have to basically define, I need to have a valid email ID, which inside the content builder, I have to go and create a email, right? And give this particular email. So then you can define this hello world. Okay. So this transition is hello world. Okay. So I created this one, and this is the email ID. Okay. This one. So let's go here, and I have hard coding here. I'm not passing it for now. Okay. Then inside this trigger send, I have other configuration. Do you want to send it this to the Salesforce tracking? You can make it true or false. Just for the sake, I've created is true. Okay. Is this a multi-part? I said yes. Or do you want to do a send logging for this trigger send? I said yes. Do you want to have some kind of suppression? I said no. Do you want to track the clicks for this particular email? I said yes. Okay, there will be more other parameters saying that you need also need to define the send classification, right? So but I haven't defined the send classification here. Okay, and inside this trigger you also have the metadata, you see here. Okay, so this is the first part, like I'm having one email, fine, and then I have a wait period. So here, if you see here, the basic difference is the type. Okay, activities is an array, and here the type is of email v2. Now here the type is of wait. The name I said 1 minute, just to make it simple. But in the configuration arguments, I have to define the wait. Wait duration is 1, and the wait unit is minutes. Okay, I can put it hours and other things as well here. Okay, and then the metadata here is configured true. Okay, in this metadata is configured true, but in the wait I also have to say wait type is of duration. So there are different type of wait activities in the journey, right? So this is my just a function, okay, to define the payload for a simple journey, very simple journey. This is your payload. Okay, now I have make it very simple. What I've done here is this.
Excuse me, Sakshi.
Uh-huh.
As you have said, it is a email send journey. So, in that email, email activity, don't we have to save the publication list that in the payload?
So you have this send classification attribute also here, which I haven't mentioned because here what you can do is you have to mention the send classification and its ID. Okay, there's another property which I'm not defining
Okay,
because
okay,
I don't
okay,
want to show the publication or the see publication list or that other things. You can also define publication list. You're defining as all subscriber, right? So
yeah, yeah,
send classification is sender profile. So okay, I got confused. Okay, so send classification is the sender profile, and also you can define the publication list or you can define all subscriber. That is also will be here, but I'm not going everything in one go.
okay, okay,
Mm.
okay. Thank you.
Just making simple properties, and you see if you go to this documentation here, okay, and if you start, let's say, defining where is this insert search update. From here it's difficult. From okay, let me show it from here. So let's say I want to create a simple interaction. Yeah, simple interaction. So if I show you here, mm, in this activity you'll also have send classification, right? And you can also there might be another property defining where you want to add those contacts. So I'm not going into that part for now. Okay.
Yes, yes, okay, thank you.
Yeah, as we progress then we'll see. I don't want to make these sessions very complex where it becomes difficult for everyone to understand. Let's go step by step. Fine. Anyway, first, see this. This is a very modular code where in this particular function, I'm saying I need to have a unique key, unique name, and unique description because the same format of the journey will be created again and again. Okay, but it should not be a duplicate. That's why the key, name, and description I can pass it at the runtime. Okay, so here what I'm doing is I'm defining a create interaction, okay, to fetch this particular path. Okay, and here as a payload I'm calling a function called get journey payload, and the content block I'm calling it here with this content block by key get journey payload, okay, which is already defined inside this payload. Okay, whatever is configured that will be brought and given to this payload. Okay, and I'm saying okay, whenever you're creating, so create this journey saying that SSJS is created by SSJ, SSJS, okay, version 1, version. So let's make this version 1 also, this as version 1, and description also version 1, right? And then I don't need the key, but I'm keeping it if I require in any point of time. Okay, so this is fine and well. I just save this, publish this, and if I publish and run, okay, so you see the response is getting bigger and bigger from the previous one. Okay, now if I go mm, back, okay, so this one was SSJS created journey version 1. Okay, so it attached one email also and now one wait period. Following me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hmm. Now if I have to create another email, obviously what I can do is see where is the activity. This was the activity, this was the first one, this was the second one. Okay, now this, if you have to copy the same email, then this was for the email. Okay, I could have copied this. I could have copied this line, and after this I could have pasted it here. Okay, and I can basically build all different activities. So this is getting bigger. I'm not making it complex. Okay, but I'm just trying to show. Now from here, if you want to have different email, I say modify this email ID. Okay, subject line and other things, and then again you can hit it, and bring another one. Fine. So anyway, I have other things to show. Ah, now this becomes here creating a simple journey, right? So this was for creating a simple journey. So this also discuss how to define the payload for a journey. Okay. Now there is another one which is basically getting the summary of that particular journey. Okay. So what we are going to do here, next one is get the summary. Which one? I'm moving here. Interaction, get interaction summary. Okay. So where's this get interaction summary? This one. Okay. So here I have here is interaction v1 interaction slash I have to pass the journey ID and then get the summary. Okay. So if I move to with this interaction summary. Okay. So the here I'm saying get interaction summary. This line I'm changing. Okay. I'm not passing the payload because this is a get function, and here I'm invoking the API get function, not the post function, right? And just I'm passing the key for one of the key for a journey, okay, which is the definite journey ID, okay. And you can also pass by key. There is a different parameter for key. If I show you this, I don't know if they have this journey interaction summary or I don't know. Here they don't have it in the Postman, okay. So if I do this, okay, just pass the key and this one, what you'll get, say this, okay. So here you're saying inside the content, if you follow this is the ID which I passed, okay. Inside the activities, follow these activities. Let's see if I copy this activity. The activity has a type as email audience, which is basically saying it has an activity called email audience, okay. And the count is one inside the data extension. The count is one, okay. After that, there's a type called email to, okay, email, okay, where that email is of there the population for that email. There is two users who have received that email, whether received or not, but the population is two, okay. Then there is a decision split, okay, and currently in the decision split there is the count is one. Then there's a start activity, the count is one. So wait activity, there is a count of five. So the summary of that particular journey, okay, you can fetch. I'm not going to show you exactly which journey and all because I don't want to trouble myself editing the video. But what you can do is, if you have any sandbox or any other environment, okay, just pass the key. Okay, how you can get the key from the if you remember the first point that I showed you, get all journeys. So when you hit the get all journeys, whichever journey you want to get the summary, you can get a summary. Okay. So hope you're following what I'm saying here. I'm not confusing you all. Uh,
Yes, Shashi.
yeah, someday down the line, I'll show you based on this how you can create a dashboard. Okay. And like let's say, for example, uh, I'm just printing these values right here. So if just say for the get journey, okay, this is giving me a something different structure where it has, see, just I'll take one here, okay. So what are the configuration? These are multi-step. What are channels? What are the different things it's giving, right? Now, uh, from here, from the summary, hmm, what I can do here, okay, from the summary is I can, well, the way I printed this way, you see this, the way I have printed it here, okay. I could have also printed this in the similar format to make it little more readable, okay. And I could have said there is an email audience which has the value, how many audience is there, there are total, currently there is one audience, okay. There's an email which has a count to, if you go to the journey and see, you in the below the email activity you'll see the population, right, how many numbers of people have basically received that email. If you have worked with journeys, you will understand what I'm saying, right? So
Yes, yes.
this is one type. Hmm. So this is about journey summary. Okay, journey summary, and then
Hello, Sasi.
uh,
As you have said, the email type will be email v2. That means it's predefined, or some any other type is present there.
is predefined means, yeah. Okay, so if you see this structure inside activities, okay, this type, whenever you're saying you're attaching an email, it will be v2, email v2. It will always be email v2. It's predefined, you can't change it to email.
Okay, okay, okay. Thanks.
Okay, now if you want to do wait, then the type will be wait. Okay, so I know this question will arise, that's why I was pointing to this. So here you see this type inside activities detail, you'll see this type. So this is multi-criteria decision. Means what this multi-criteria means? Decision split.
Yes, yes.
Understood? So
Yeah.
the type is multi-criteria. Now I can't understand. See, I can't have that brain space on remembering all these things, right? So what I can do is I can design this kind of program, and then uh, what I use here. Let's go back now. Interaction ID. Hmm. Now what I'll suggest you, okay, to do is, let's say I'm removing this, okay, I'm removing all this, fine. Now see, now I'm making it empty, okay. Now what I can do is say data extension, okay. After this, what I do is decision split, fine, and then I attach email, okay. Let's say yeah, okay. Then let's delete this, okay. So let's attach an email here. So let me create this kind of email, fine. And now I configure this, validate it, and I'm saving this with the name, right? So I can have a name and I can validate and then activate. Do this part of this task, fine? Okay. Now you want to know what is for running this particular function to get this kind of detail. Okay. What you can do is, mm, you can basically go here, okay, and run this page. And once you run this page, you're getting all the journeys, right? Search for your journey name. So via journey name, like I know this is the journey name is birthday journey with coupon, right? So similarly, the name with you have saved, okay, try to search for that name, okay, and then let's say I copy this, I say control F and I search this, I get the ID, paste the ID. Either you can store inside the data extension. So then I copy this, okay, and I come to this get journey by ID, and there I go there, okay, and then here line number 18, I update this particular ID, fine. Huh. And when I basically then publish and run, then for that particular journey, okay, because this was draft, that's why I didn't want it. Let me publish this, and if I run this, hmm, so I'll get first में उसमें पुराने वाले में what was there. So here let me just clean this out. Just see the difference. Okay, here it was first. It was when I was printing it. It was multi criteria decision. Okay, this was multi criteria decision. Here what I'm finding here is the first step is the email. Hmm. After that they have another email. Okay, and they have a wait period. They have a wait period. Okay, here I have a first itself is a decision, and they have a wait period 1 2 3. Okay, and then they have a email. This is email v2, this is email v2. So this email v2, this email v2. Understood? So that way you'll understand key how this is getting configured. Hmm. And you also come to know what is the type. You said like why it is predefined this email v2. Yeah, so this is type, and this is email v2 which is predefined. What I can
Okay, okay,
change,
Sasi.
I can change the name.
Yeah, yeah, got your point.
Understood?
Yeah.
Hmm. So that's what I said कि अगर ये मैं पहले दिखा दूँ, people will be confused, but once you start building, then you'll come to understand the nitty gritty. Fine. Anyway, I'm moving forward. I don't want to spend all the time. So let's say the other one is to just up now I'm focusing on a particular statics. Say I have lot of wait periods. Okay. Or I say I have lot of email activities. I want to go to that particular activity and get some details. So let's say wait stat. I want to see the what is the whatever wait period you have attached to a particular journey. Okay. And for that particular journey, I want to see what's happening in the wait. How many people are waiting, right? So here I said get wait statics. Okay. I'm passing that journey ID and trying to run. Okay. Now there is no wait and nobody's waiting there. Okay. Anyway, there is no wait because this is a draft version which I basically published, right? So in the running, you can get the statics also for the wait. Okay. Now, if you have to do for the email, I hope I have done for the email. No. Okay. Anyway, so if I have to, I'm moving fast. Okay, because I don't want to spend much of time here saying a lot of things. एक ही बार में confusion भी नहीं करना है. So anyway, uh, search. So if I have to search for a journey history, okay, uh, I want to search what is happening for that history. Okay. So similarly, this is the endpoint. I don't know if it is mentioned somewhere. I, what I'm showing you is lot of undocumented APIs as well. Okay. Which is not described in anywhere in the documentation. Some things might be undocumented also. Okay. And if it doesn't work, don't blame me. Sometimes marketing cloud might disable those things for the other people to use. So journey history here, what is the path is interaction v1 interactions journey history search. Okay. Now if I do this, if I want to search for the journey history, let's see क्या देता है. So you'll see here because I'm doing for a draft version. Okay, the count is already 0 for which I'm passing because it's a draft version. Then if it's not for a draft version, you'll see a lot of items here getting configured and getting the journey history. Fine. In next session, if I'll what I'll do is I'll build one journey and make it running, and what you'll do is I'll pass some contacts and all. Okay, and I'll show you what the proper response you'll get. Okay, I'm not making you all confused, just showing that this is all possible. Okay, the last one. Okay, before looking for your questions, yeah, I tried to simulate like we when we go to a journey builder and we do the simulation, right, to test a journey. If I select particular contact and then which path the contact will flow, you remember? Like we have also once we validate, we can also test a journey. You all know, right? Here the test is disabled because it's a draft version. And once I configure all this, you will also be able to test. Yes or no?
Yes, Shashi, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right. And when you try to test and you select one particular contact, it will show which path it is flowing.
Yes, yes.
Right. So the same thing, I was not able to because I haven't passed a proper parameter here because I didn't pass here. This is a get method. Okay. And inside the get method, I have to pass फिर भी थोड़ा सा param तो pass करना पड़ेगा. Not only the key, but also certain search criteria. Hmm. So I haven't passed this. So this why I said this is currently not working because I haven't configured it properly. So I'm not showing this, but this can also be done. Uh, and get simulation contacts is like where is this get simulation contacts. Okay. So but I haven't defined जैसे ऐसे defined होता है config version summary counts ऐसे something करके I have to do something here which I haven't done. Okay. I also have limitations. I can show everything, but anyway, this one is interesting. Now I want to see, okay, I have a running journey and I want to see whether this particular contact, if you remember, there is one thing called health, right? Where's the health? So here I'm not able to see, but I can see, okay, if I activate, you'll see one health button here where through that you can search for a contact. How many people know this?
Yes, Shashi, you told me in the journey builder session.
Journey builder enablement I have showed, right? Okay.
Yes.
So there is a health button here. It will somewhere it will reflect at the top. and you when you click on the health and then you enter the contact key, it will show where that particular contact is actually currently in this running journey, right? So
Yes.
the same thing can you do, but here you can have a payload, okay, with multiple contact keys. I'm given a rough contact key, which I don't want to use or bring the contact keys and show it here, right? So, the response that I'm getting is quite obvious to understand. Okay, so here I'm saying get list of contacts as in, okay, and I'm passing the contact list IDs here. Okay, I think I have hard coded few things here. uh this is the post method, okay, and here I have to do little bit of digging, like in which particular journey that particular contact resides, right? So here it's interaction v1 interactions contact membership. So this contact is basically with in which journey it resides, right? So I'm giving a very rough one, but in next time I'll come with a more concrete example here. Okay, from here also I can say, okay, from this contact membership, if that particular contact ID is found, it will show you in this particular journey this contact resides in this particular journey. Okay, and contact not found, okay, because these contacts were not found, because obviously 111 or something is not there, right? Okay, now the interesting part, why I'm showing, and people might be saying कि क्या दिखा रहा है and all. Okay, so interesting point what I'm saying is, and there is one, if you want to see some documentations, दिखाऊं या ना दिखाऊं, हो गया मेरे को, anyway दिखाई देता हूँ. So what we can do is publish the journey, okay, with that ID by the key also. Okay, you can stop, okay, you can stop by the key, you can stop by the ID, okay, or by the key. And there is for the goal statics also, there is two different version, okay, goal statics and clear those goal statics. If you want to clear those statics also, you can clear it. Okay, now uh, journey history, I was not able to, and even in the journey history you can filter the journey history and get the journey history. Okay, there's even more, but I haven't stopped, I didn't insert it here. Okay, and why I'm not doing this, like that's what I was saying. If I mm, go to my blog just today, okay, just before coming to this session, I created this blog and I gave two three things saying this one was with the journey summary, okay, and I printed in this format which looks much better. Okay, audience count is 1, email count is 2, multi-criteria decision, currently the count is 1, start activity 1, wait 5 and all. Okay, now people those who are interested, they might do certain modifications and come to that part. Hmm. Just opening the floor for people to explore more into journey builder. Okay, any questions till now? I'm ready to listen to your questions now. Wait a minute. Before that, I had no. See this one, this get journey payload. This was a construct which I made here. Okay, where I have predefined everything, even steps, what steps has to be and all. Okay, now if you want to make it more, what do you say, modular. Okay, so I said journey builder serializer. Okay, I'm building this, not 100%, but I'm still working on this. To I don't know if I'll be able to during this session or not. Hmm. But let me show you this as well. So this is a JSON object, right? So because I'm creating a JSON, if you see this, okay, for every, so payload, first journey payload, you need to have the key name description type, okay, is a what type you need to pass, okay. Then outcomes, if you remember the outcomes, argument and configuration arguments. हाँ, ये simple होता है एक payload का structure. Okay. Now for every payload, you need to define the goal, which is of array type, define the activities which is array type. Okay. If you want to define the email activity, Okay, then you can pass every description of that email activity you have in the email. You need to have a key, you need to have name, description, outcome, arguments, configuration argument, metadata. Hmm. Then inside this email activity, I'm going from the maybe first from the outcome. So first I define the outcome because this is an array. I have to define individual outcomes. Okay, and then pass this in individual outcome has to be passed to this outcomes. Okay, to define an array, and then you have to define the arguments. Okay, then define the trigger. Okay, define the metadata, and this is for the email activity. इतना तो बस email activity का है from here to here. And then if you have to define the wait activity, okay, similarly key, name, configuration arguments, and metadata. So here I stopped here because it is too much to define. Okay, and I didn't want to. I'll make it modular one day anyway to make it more easy. Okay, and after that I said demystify this modularity, and here what I did was make it much even easier. I think this is JavaScript, right? So here what I said was outcomes, arguments, and configuration arguments defined. Okay, so I'm first defining the trigger, that is the entry source. Define the trigger. Okay, so from here it will call this function called define triggers and define this trigger. Okay, and now outcome. So I have taken an approach of bottom to top. So first I'm defining the outcome, then arguments, then the application key, trigger send, configuration argument, metadata, and then I'm defining the email activity. Okay, so this part will define the email activity, and this part will define the wait duration. Now, if I say decision split, engagement split, and all, समझ लो कि ये और how complex this can become. Following me?
Yeah, it's
so
so much complex.
Defining via API, okay, and it's not that useful. That's why if you see my blog, okay, if you see my blog, the previous blog, I think not here, but in the previous blog, after when I was trying to do myself, okay, I wrote this blog. So I said first understand the specification, how to install, how to modular code, how to do modular code and all, everything I've said here. Okay, so for the REST API, what you need to do, what you need to configure in the data extension. Slowly I progressed here. Okay, and while I was basically building this blog only, I realized it's not for everyone, right? Not even for me, because it becomes complex. It will be even more deadly for me. Okay, so while I was doing this, I said conclusion. Okay, so final thought I said, see, final thought and next step I said is simplicity and ease of use. The UI approach is simplified than creating via basically a code. So it's not that easy when you have to do code, but yeah, what people do, I remember who basically build custom activities for the journeys. They only build the custom activities. They don't build the whole journey. If they are building it, I want to learn from them. I think some people are doing, right? And if they are doing it, कसम से I want to learn from them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I used to think like that. Means it's so much complex that you have to build the whole journey in the API. So that
you just see this part now, right? If you just see this, for me defining this modularity, obviously I'm a single person, I'm doing all this, right? But if I have a group of those competent people, I can have a much better definition of this modularity. Obviously the config items will be defined in this way I'm defining. Little bit of difference might be there, maybe there is a lot difference, but what I'm defining is what Salesforce defines. Anyway, any question? I'll stop this here.